Here's a week of dinners I made for my family while we're trying to eat fewer ultra-processed foods. As usual, I forgot to take the mince out the freezer the night before to defrost, so to thaw it extra quickly, I put it in warm water while I got on with the rest of the cooking. I've become a little bit obsessed with chopping vegetables in my food processor. It's been a game changer because it's so much quicker and stops me from crying my eyes out over onions every night, although there is a bit more washing up to do. I used my homemade beef stock cubes to make a sauce for the cottage pie, and some of my homegrown red potatoes, which I grew back in the summer. With homegrown veg, there's often imperfections, and I've got no idea how these 2 holes got there. And it really makes me think how many vegetables must be wasted because they don't meet the perfect supermarket standards. I topped the mincemeat mixture with some mashed potatoes and a load of cheddar cheese. And to serve, I got some vegetables out of the freezer. These were the green beans I grew back in the summer. I grew so many beans, we got very sick of them and have had to have a little break, but I'm glad to say they are now back on our menu. This is one of our favourite winter dinners and he liked it so much he went in for seconds. And for dessert we had some mince pies, kind of cheating, using jarred mincemeat, not fresh. The next day I roasted 2 whole chickens to use for lunches and dinners throughout the week. For dinners like this I'll normally do meat and 2 veg, and yes, roast potatoes definitely count as a vegetable. I roast them in British cold pressed rapeseed oil, which is the best oil for roasting in hot temperatures. I use all the meat cooking juices for the gravy, which is all jellified, but as soon as it gets warmed up it goes liquid again. And to thicken it, just use a corn flour slurry. This one went a bit too thick for me actually. So after steaming the broccoli, I used the water at the bottom of the pan to thin out the gravy. Never throw vegetable cooking water away. It can be used in gravy, stocks, or just to water your plants. The next day we fancied something different and I wanted to try something out that I might make on Boxing Day with all our Christmas Day leftovers. Stuffing went in, potatoes, vegetables, the lot. The chicken skin was a bit soggy by now, so I gave it a refresh in the air fryer. I'd harvested this cauliflower from the garden to use up, and oh look, signs that it's organic. No idea how this thing survived my knife, but I put it outside for the birds. I didn't waste any of the cauliflower leaves. They all got chopped up and sauteed with some butter. And to bring the whole pie together, I made a white sauce. This was buttermilk I had left over from making homemade butter, but you can use any milk, cream, or leftover gravy you have from Christmas Day. Topped it with the crispy chicken skin and a lid of puff pastry, and it was delicious. The only problem was that my kids hated it because all the vegetables were mixed in and they couldn't easily pick them out. It took us a good few days to finish that pie, and some even went in the freezer, but when we did, the next dinner was a pulled pork. This cut of meat is called the pork shoulder, and it's so easy to do in the slow cooker. Just put it in the night before and it's done in the morning. It gives you a lot of liquid cooking juices, so I reduced them down and put it over as a sauce. Shop bought bread is so processed, so I decided to make my own burger buns. However, I may have trashed my mixer in the process. You're definitely not supposed to put it on that fast on a dough hook. They're similar to brioche but made with olive oil instead of butter, so slightly lighter. The pulled pork burgers were for my husband, but my children will definitely not eat that, so I made them a mac and cheese instead. I did a combination of blue cheese, red Leicester and cheddar, and even my kids love this blue cheese. It's so good. My house smelled amazing, and I topped the whole thing with some pulled pork and chives from the garden, which was also a mistake because the kids refused to eat the green bit. Of course he wanted mac and cheese as well as his burger, and then this was the difference between my plate and his.